everybody, because now we're recording and a lot of people are going to watch this. So we are celebrating all of you. 30 years running, you have been the number one proud of all of you. You guys are awesome. You're amazing. Your teams are amazing, and you rock it. Here's mimosas. Doris taught us that when you can't reach everyone across the table, you start the click on this side and go left all the way around the table. And if you're the head of the table, you make eye contact with each person and you do this, okay? What you're doing is you are clicking with each person and acknowledging their very special presence. So all of you, I'm acknowledging. Put up your cups. I'm acknowledging all of you. God bless you guys. We're going to have an amazing year. Again, we have so much coming up. And just to let you know, for my team, phone calls today. We're going to do the director and team leaders on this call. And then tonight we're going to go live from Marie and Patti and myself are doing a recipe night. So we're going to go live from that. And then I'm going to take a couple weeks off. And Patti and Marie and I'm not taking off of work, don't get me wrong, just phone calls, because we are restructuring our phone calls to be together and just a little more organized and defined. So, and you will all be able to join those calls, and some will be for you, some will be for your team, some will be for new consultants, and some will be for team leaders, okay? So
two items in the
two
chat.
items in the chat. I want a mimosa. Go make yourself one. Anyway, you can use it with vodka if you got vodka. Okay.
All right.
So,
what do you mean?
Marie, what do you?
Well,
Okay.
All right. So good morning, everybody. I've been up early. Let's see how. Had an in-person here local director meeting in like forever, and as you saw at conference, there's nothing like being face-to-face with friends and family. And Nancy Jo is in the process of well, she's been living in Florida for the last year, but she is getting ready to put her Illinois house up on the market, and everything must go. So if you need any Pampered Chef vintage products, message Nancy Jo.
Does anybody need the old blades from the original Pampered Chef apple peeler quarter slicer, the flat blade?
Put it in the chat.
I have 3 left. I will mail it to you.
Bonus for coming on the call.
That's right.
So anyway, we know that you're going to be leaving to go to Florida soon and won't be back in town, and thought if we could squeeze this in. And we had the mimosas. The champagne was thank you to Pampered Chef. And really 30 years Circle of Honor leading the #1 team. So we're all really blessed to be.
It's unheard of in our industry, you
I know,
guys.
we like take advantage, like we
take it for granted, but
Yeah.
it is. I've talked to some big shots in other companies, like in big companies. That is unheard of. Nobody does that, you guys. So you guys are amazing that you held that for that long. Just, I mean, it's amazing. They said that no one's ever heard. I was talking to an author, and at that time, she does only direct selling books. It was the book that Don McDonald and I were both in, The Very Best Opportunity for Women. And she said that she's never even heard of anybody being in 20 years. She goes, never. And she goes, all I do is interview and write books for direct selling companies. So she said, so at 30 years, it's even more. So just want to say, you guys, you're rock stars, you work hard, and it all goes into this beautiful pot.
Yay.
And we're all part of the pot.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that we're respectful of your time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put it over here, Patti. Just smile right now. Okay, so Patti has uploaded, if you guys have not visited pcteamtraining.com in a while, The password is still Extreme18 with a capital E. And it's just because we don't want to bother changing the password and have to go through what it would take for everybody to have it. But eventually, someday, we'll get caught up and it will change and we will send you out the new password. But for right now, it's the same. So under Pampered Chef Events drop-down menu, there is Conference 2019 and specifically pre-conference. Those of you who were lucky enough to be in the room that night heard Becca Yawn and Ellington Boyce and Chris Madden.
Yvonne Plashita. Sharon Zell. They were amazing. One of the best nights we had.
So one of the things is that I think it's three of the speakers gave us their PowerPoint and some supportive material. And there's a hot link to their documents. So like just pick it up, hang it up. Walgreens is calling me. My prescription is ready. Hang it up. Okay. So Ellington Boyce did share her Rising Stars Director Development Program. Everybody was able for it. It's there. So, we also have their Chris Madden's PowerPoint that was up on the screen behind her as she spoke with some of the pictures of parts of her virtual shows. Becca had her document with how she did it and the stuff that he's referring to. So that's there for you. Let's give a big round of applause to Ms. Patti Moce, who is responsible for putting all of that training and did it all for you. So you guys can virtually give her a thumbs up.
And that's worth
Okay. Somebody on a phone, could you guys mute yourselves? It's cutting in and out, and it will help us unless we can do it. Everybody is with us. Mute off.
Where?
Oh, wait. If you could mute manage participants right here. And can you mute?
Mute. Okay.
Mute all. Continue. Can you guys still hear us? Put a thumbs up if you can still hear us. And then you have your camera as well.
Yeah.
So,
so the video is on the 18th. Where's all the documents?
Right under the speaker. Hot links to the speaker. You can still unmute yourself if you have a question or put something in the chat if you want us to read it.
Is it just there forever? Pretty much.
Until,
yes. The other stuff is.
So there was a question here around the table. How long do we keep stuff up on PC Team Training? Right now, it's there forever. It's like a file cabinet that has old documents in it. However, as you're going through PCTeamTraining.com, if you notice things that really need to be deleted, please send a message. There's a way to communicate with us. Let us know. And we do pay, the three of us have an agreement, and we pay somebody who's supposed to keep us up to date on the outside order form and things like that. So if you notice something that needs to be done, please let us know, and we'll make sure that we'll take care of that. So we invited, well, actually, Eileen O'Haron is here, and we're going to move the computer a lot closer to her, and I think we might put a camera on her. You will have noticed that she was up on stage. She was part of the Blender crew, and she did fabulous. Let's give her a round of applause.
Are we taping?
Yes, please.
Okay, hold on, because then she's going to move over to the other.
Oh no, I've got the stuff right here. You don't even need to. Yeah. Do I want your peanuts?
Do you want to sit where?
Or do I look like an elephant?
No.
So why don't you at least give us, why don't you say hello?
Hello, everybody. Hey, Sue Myers, I see you out there. Oh gosh, look at all the people up bright and early on Monday morning. Heather Brown, wow, a lot of people here. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you guys made yourself a smoothie this morning. Some nut butter, some almond milk.
Oh my God.
Come on. I know I did. Literally, before I came down here at 6:30 I left my house at 7:30, but at 6:30 I made almond butter, almond peanut butter, and then the way I like to clean the blender after doing that is I throw, because there's going to be almond residue in there, almond milk, a banana, vanilla extract. If you have Hershey syrup, ice, you've got almond milk shake in the morning, and you've got the almonds in there, the almond milk, and all that good stuff. Oh, wow. So I don't like to see any almonds go to waste.
Awesome.
Okay.
Something else.
And I also put the pea protein in there. So
it was all the ground almonds that are left over.
Yeah, and I'll go through that. I mean, if you guys have questions, because I don't know.
Almond milk last week, and it was really
phenomenal. It is awesome. So that's what I did this morning. I gave, and it made, 2 pint glasses. Gave one to my husband and one to myself, and then I went through the heated wash cycle. But none of that got weight. I got all those almonds out into my belly. So yeah, it was fantastic. You guys can zip up that in no time. Last night we made jam, which was great. So,
okay, Patti, you ready? We're taking.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right. So
who are you?
My name is Eileen O'Haron from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and thank you so much for inviting me back. Thank you guys. It's been a long time. So thank you. I love you guys. I needed a shot of you guys. I said that to Marie when we were there. I'm like, I need a little booster shot of the Friday team. But anyway, so thanks for having me. All right. So as far, do you want me to just roll into this? And I have to say, okay.
Here's the thing. You got the benefit of working with that product for a couple months. Right. You were on that team. But how you got picked.
Okay.
You just shared that. Did you hear her story?
Okay, so what happened was, and I'm going to post this, you're going to post it. Okay. So in February, I got a call from Jackie from the home office, and she said, we'd like you to work on a project with us. Are you interested? And I said, sure. She said, it's going to be a product test. I'm like, woo, sweet, score. I would love to test a product, but I didn't know what it was. So they chose me and the other 4 people, and we sat on the project, and I wondered, I said, how did we get picked for this project? And she said, based on your quick cooker sales. So it had nothing to do with anything other than quick cooker sales, which of course at that time, and until maybe a week ago, I had no idea how many quick cookers I sold. Okay, so they were looking at September through January. And I have to say, and I mentioned this to Laura and Patti, that my quick cooker sales were high, I guess, according to them, based on Lisa Noto's YouTube that she did on quick cookers last year, right before it was introduced. And so you guys, my suggestion to you is to take advantage of those high sellers, whatever they're doing, listen to them, infuse yourself in their knowledge, and it'll help you. So Lisa Noto, thank you very much for teaching me how to sell quick cookers and book shows and all of that. I guess at the time, between September and January, I sold like 58 quick cookers.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to compare it to, but apparently it got me on the test product for the deluxe cooking blender, which brings me to another tip. Laura Antigal did the deluxe cooking blender coffee talk last week. Listen to it, you guys. It is amazing. I mean, it's very specific points that you want to cover at your shows, and just to give yourself the knowledge, if you're not going to sit down and read a user manual, it is beautiful. Her talk was awesome, and that is what I just am taking from her talk to deliver to you guys today. So if you haven't listened to it, definitely listen to it. I am going to just sort of go over some of the things that she said, and it just hopefully will help you guys book and sell the deluxe cooking blender, which is awesome. Everybody has one, right?
Right.
Yes.
You're all using it. You're not scared of it. You took it out of the box.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. So that's how I got picked to do this. And the reason why Pampered Chef went into the market on cooking blenders is because blenders account for almost $1 billion in sales. Okay. So blender sales are around, 955 million, close enough to $1 billion, right? So Pampered Chef wanted a piece of that pie, right? Yeah. And true to Pampered Chef, anything that is going on out in the market, we want to take a look at and improve upon it, or make it better, or make it more. Okay, so that's what we did. And there are lots of different cooking blenders out there, but most of them just heat the food. They have a low, medium, and high setting. They don't cook the food. Okay, so speaking from experience, I have to be honest with you. When you think of a blender, what's the first thing you think of? Mixed drinks. Yeah, smoothies, mixed drinks. We got the cooking blender early part of March, and none of us on the panel used it for smoothies or cocktails until the week before National Conference. We were using it for cooking. And that's something you have to remember when you're going out and doing your shows. Really emphasize the cooking feature, because not all blenders cook, okay? Even though some claim to cook, they're just heating up your food.
Well, I understand, but it's the whirling and the friction of the blades that are actually heating the food, not a heater.
There's a heating element in
ours. Other
right. Ours actually has a heating element that goes up to 220 degrees. If you haven't used it yet, you guys, you will see steam rising out of it's amazing. Yeah, you'll see it bubble as you're doing your jams and your sauces and all of that. Which brings me to another point. Pampered Chef is in the process, I guess, of patenting the sauce and the jam setting, because that is not on other cooking blenders. Right. Okay, so that's another differentiation.
Well, a lot of the cooking blenders, if I can interrupt just for a minute. I have a gal that has a Vitamix, and her piece is plastic, and she's getting away from all plastic. So she's going to buy that just because it's glass.
Exactly.
And the people had to switch out, like they had to have 2 or 3 blenders.
You may want to repeat that.
Okay, so Nancy Jo was just saying that some of the blenders on the market have the
big boys.
I'm going to show you what ours looks like in case you don't know what it looks like. Some of the blenders on the market have a plastic jar, is what we were calling it, pitcher, whatever you want to call it. Ours is glass because it can withstand the heat of 220 degrees, and God knows how much higher than that. Plastic pitchers cannot withstand that heat, and some people are getting away from using plastic altogether. Right. Especially if you're heating plastic, that is not good. Okay, so ours is glass. It'll withstand the heat. And there won't be any chemicals emitted into your food and things like that. So good point.
It's a really big deal for people that are super into all that.
Exactly.
Really
so definitely consider that. The other thing too, another little comparison, and I'm just going off of some things that I absorbed from Laura's training, but we also got comparison sheets, fabs, and I don't know if they're posted somewhere or if these are going back to April. So I don't know if they updated them or not, but some of the comparison sheets are, some of the blenders on the market are real tall and they don't fit under your cabinets. You have to take it out and put the pitcher on the other side or whatever. Ours fits under most standard cabinets on the countertops.
I know my assistant does, it won't fit under.
Right. So it's nice. They actually made it.
My house is 23 years old and it fits.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's most, but it's not.
So watch for those honestly, you just do your comparisons so you guys feel comfortable and confident going in and delivering this information. Okay, so we did want to capitalize on that market for blenders, and that is why we did come out with ours. And again, ours has 8 pre-programmed settings based on our recipes. Okay, so you have to, watch when you're cooking with it, with the cooking guide. It's pretty standard, but they are developed for our recipes. But then there's custom settings. So another thing that makes us different than the market out there is we have control over our blender. Okay, so there are 8 pre-programmed settings and 2 custom settings. One would be the custom blend and the custom heat. Okay, and then there's a pulse setting. So we actually can control the grind, all of that stuff if you want to. If you put it on the grind setting, it's going to automatically, it's intuitive. It's going to know how long to grind something. But let's say for coffee, you don't want to use the grind setting for coffee unless you want espresso ground, okay? Because it'll turn it into a powder. It'll do the same thing with spices, okay? So if you're looking for a more coarse grind, maybe for cold brew coffees and things like that, use the pulse, okay? So that's kind of nice that we have that kind of control over it. Let's see. Again, the other 2 settings would be the pulse setting and just the regular custom blend, okay? And sometimes I find myself doing that where I'm gonna do a custom blend first and then roll into the smoothie setting, okay? Safety features, oh my gosh, you guys, ours is very safe. I have to say, this looks like a prototype. You don't have the sticker on here, huh?
I took the sticker.
My gosh.
I took the sticker.
No, you guys, you don't want to do that.
Well,
you know why?
I mounted it to my manual.
Okay.
For reference. I
All
didn't
right.
throw it away.
I'll tell you the reason why. And it's because the first day that we got our prototype back in March, we made smoothies and I went to go take a shower and I could hear my husband doing the dishes as I was getting in the shower. And I'm like, oh, he was going to submerge this in water. Okay. Well, there are electrical components on the bottom here, you guys. It cannot be submerged in water. It is not dishwasher safe. You want to wash it like you would a good vase. Okay. So keep that warning on there and tell your guests and your host to keep that warning on there. If it's submerged in water, we may know not to submerge it, but your husband might not know, your kids might not know. Certainly your guests and your hosts aren't going to know.
I don't think they would read it. Do you
Well,
really?
oh yes.
I know.
So that was one thing. I mean, that was the first thing I put out there like that day is I'm like, wait, you guys, can you emboss something on here?
Yeah.
Because just like the manual food processor, the lid,
Right.
there's a reason for that label to be on there. It's to call your attention. Do not submerge in water. If that label's gone, free for all. You're going to submerge it in water. Your kids are going to put it in the dishwasher. Come on, we're giving them way too much credit if they think that they're going to think in our heads, right?
Or ask first.
Or ask first, right? So I did. That's funny, Maria. I thought this was a prototype. I'm like, where's your warning label? So definitely, I suggest to keep that on there, but do what you want. Okay.
There's 2 labels on there, right?
Yeah.
There's the other one
So
on
you
this
were
side.
not, you were supposed to leave both of them.
I leave both of them on there. You know what, you guys? I'd rather have both of them on there and know that people aren't doing that than do a bunch of returns. Okay. I don't want to be handling all those returns. So make sure that you give them the option, but hey, if they want to do a return, they can do their own return if they're going to take that label off.
Well, you're bringing it to show, so you kind of want to let them see that there's the
Yeah, honestly, you guys, I think it's really important. I mean, it's no different than a vacuum cleaner having a label on the canister. You know, it's there for a reason. Okay, unless you're going to educate the people in your life to not submerge us in water. Safety features, it does heat up to 220 degrees. Which is also a big feature compared to the other ones on the market. The other ones on the market go up to about 212, which is the boiling point, but ours goes up to 220, which is the exact temperature you need for pectin to be activated in jams. Okay. So you need that in there. It gets really hot. And originally I said, can we have like a little thing like they have for the cold brew pitcher, whatever, the little snap thing? The little Wonder Bra that went around it. So that you didn't touch the hot glass. Well, they put the helper handle down here, and then they've got the knuckle guard back here, which is awesome. So that'll keep you safe. And I made jam last night. I made 2 batches of jam. One is a low sugar strawberry jam. The other one is a full sugar blueberry jam. So back to back, I was able to do those. This baby gets hot. You don't want to touch the glass. It's hot. So we have a helper handle and a knuckle guard to keep you safe. Okay.
When you're doing the jams, how easily is it easily doubled, or do you not recommend?
Good.
I heard.
Okay. So Laura just asked if you're making jams or really with any recipe, you really don't want to double the recipe, you guys, because although there are measure marks on here and it's going to look like you don't have a lot of food in there, once it starts blending, the volume goes up. Okay, so you're whipping air and all that other stuff in there. So you'll see the volume will increase and you'll have a boil over, which is a mess. Okay,
So
so
like, did you measure a pound? Like when you do the peaches, are you going to
I would do a
weigh
pound of peaches. Yeah,
peeled?
so I have a bag of organic peaches. It's 2 pounds of peaches. I'm going to count how many are in there. I think there's like 6 or whatever, or 2 pounds of peaches. So I think there's like 8 in there. So 4 peaches will be a pound as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you could use your scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use the scale. And then we've got strawberries come in a quart or pint container or whatever. So those should be a pound, but it worked out just fine.
I weighed 3 pounds of apples the other day.
Yeah.
But I cored them first.
Yeah.
I had way too many apples.
Right.
So I think
So
it's
you have to-
definitely a bag of 3 pounds of apples that you use as opposed to weighing 3 pounds uncored.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
That's a good
I just
point.
kept opening it up and pushing them in it worked out fine, but I think
So-
I had
Applesauce.
Yep. And the applesauce, you do want to add a little lemon to it so it doesn't turn brown. It'll turn brown.
Put the whole bag in there.
So yeah, you can,
I weighed 3 pounds.
and you guys can do stuff with skin on it. Okay, my favorite thing is, and I don't know if you saw this wherever on the screen or whatever, it does save you time, money, and space. Because think about it, you guys, time, let's face it, you can make sauce in here in 20 minutes while you're getting the pasta ready and all that other stuff. You can do smoothies in here, and I've gotten rid of my juicer, my blender, my almond milk maker, which was a real joke. That thing was $180 and it tastes like sand. And then I got rid of my burr grinder, which is a coffee grinder. So I got rid of 4 small appliances that came out to about $450 to $500 and also took up space on my counter to replace it with just this, okay? The thing about the juicing, and I've seen a couple comments on the Deluxe Cooking Blender Facebook group, it's not a juicer. I think it's better than a juicer. How many of you guys have a juicer?
Okay. One of my garages.
Okay, so here's the thing. Nancy's selling one of her garages. Here's the thing to remember about juicing. Juicing extracts the juice from the fruit and the produce, the vegetables and all that, and you're left with a bunch of pulp, which is the fiber, which is what you need.
Right.
And it's a devil to clean the filter on that. So you're getting what I call homemade. You're throwing the whole fruit. Homemade. You put it all in there. Well, not, apple seeds or anything, but you throw it all in there.
I did the skin.
You can do the skin. That's why, who was asking me about the peaches, about doing peach jam today? Okay, so I would leave the peach skin on there.
Yeah.
Because it's going to cook it.
Of the nutrients.
And that's where all the nutrients are in the skins and the peels. So you definitely, I throw cucumber, kale, carrot, all of that in my smoothies, you guys, and it just zips right through it. So that is huge. It's got a 2-peak horsepower motor in here. Huge. Okay. 2-peak horsepower. 2-peak horsepower motor, which is also another added thing. So some blenders have that high horsepower, but and some don't. So buyer beware.
It's apples to apples.
Yeah.
How does it compare noise-wise?
Okay, so noise-wise, I've heard that one of the other blenders that one of my consultants had, she said it was very noisy. And then somebody said is there a smoothie machine or a margarita machine or something out there?
Yeah.
That's really loud. It sounds like an airplane is taking off. There is a noise sensor back here on here. You also got another one in there. Yep.
Okay.
And that has cut down on the noise. When we had the prototype, it was pretty noisy. This is much better. But I like what Tim said. Tim said, because his wife was saying, it's really noisy. And Tim from the test kitchen said, honey, you know what that noise is? Or you know what that sound is? That's the sound of me not cooking. It is. You just put it in there. Because it's intuitive and we've got the pre-programmed settings, you guys, it knows what to do. It knows when to pulse. It knows when to heat. It just cycles through like that. You don't have to sit there and stir and watch with regular blenders and the other heated blenders. You still have to watch what's going on and stop it and pulse it and do all that. It'll do it for you on the pre-programmed settings. So you set it and forget.
At a show, and maybe I'm derailing
No,
what
no,
you're
I'm
going to say is the point that I would like to get from you is how are you positioning this at a party, incorporating quick cooker, cooking blender, our other traditional products, and how are you raising the bar on both our cooking shows and our virtual shows to be educational, inspirational, motivational?
Yeah. And bring the family back to the table.
Yes.
Which is what we need. That's our big purpose, right? So between this
not too much pressure.
No, but between this and the quick cooker, honestly, guys, that's almost all anybody needs in their kitchen. Right. It brings up, again, it's homemade. You're bringing everybody back to real food. We're teaching people how to eat, not to sip their food. Okay, we're teaching them how to actually chew and have a conversation, and not just eat on the fly. Okay, and eat real food. That's huge. So at a cooking show, and again, this is all, I love this idea from Laura Antical. She offers them 3 choices, and this could be for the cooking shows. The one would be the hidden veggie pasta marinara with the pasta bar. We did that at our team recipe night last week. It was perfect. So you just start the sauce right away, and then you go on and you do the other things while the sauce is cooking. 9 times out of 10, I'm not in a kitchen, you guys. I'm in somebody's living room or their family room or whatever. You come out and you talk about the blender and all the features and benefits. You load the veggies in there, give it a whirl so they can see the power of it, and put it back in the kitchen to cook while you're all doing the rest of your demo. Okay, so she had that as one of the options. A Mexican fiesta bar. She would make the nacho cheese sauce in here while they're doing grilling chicken on the grill pan and making nachos on the rock grill stone. Really tool intense recipes. Okay, so you want to rock a piece of cookware and the blender. Okay, so
and I understand about the nacho cheese sauce. A couple people have said it's thinner,
very
right?
thin.
right out, but as it cools, it thickens up.
It does, but you want hot sauce on your nachos, right?
Right.
So I'm going to mess with the amount of milk that goes in there because I think that might be, or increase the amount of roux.
Okay.
So it's the thickening agent. So I haven't tried that yet. I mean, it's good. It's just like you would get at a ball game. You just pour it over your stuff. Okay. So that works out well. And then the other one was a wine, cheese, and chocolate, or a sip and dip show. And you do the, if you guys have not done the roasted red pepper and walnut spread, amazing. It's made with totally gluten-free. I mean, all of that. So it's made with walnuts, roasted red peppers, honey, paprika, garlic, and olive oil. I know that one off the top of my head because roasted red pepper dip. It's in the cooking guide.
Right.
Fantastic.
Walnuts.
Walnuts. So instead of it looks like hummus, but it's made with walnuts, not garbanzo beans. Yeah. So you don't get that gassiness from the garbanzo beans. So that is a great recipe to also do. And in fact, my family uses, they called it muhumara when we were practicing it. That's too hard to pronounce.
What's it called?
Muhumara or mahumura.
Oh yeah, the roasted red
Middle
pepper.
Eastern,
Hummus,
yeah.
That's what he was saying. Yeah.
So my family actually uses it as a spread, as a condiment instead of mayonnaise. Because I mean, it's good. It's walnuts and all of that good stuff. It's
Good
so
for
delicious.
too.
Yeah. Great for paninis as well. So those would be the 3 options that she's offering. And I think that those are great options. And even on a virtual party, honestly, you guys, as you're making your pasta sauce for dinner, turn on, enjoy what you're doing. They don't have to listen to it run for 20 minutes, but you can show them the beginning and maybe do like a split thing, like make a batch of sauce before you go live and then show them the process and then show them what the sauce looks like. So you don't have to keep turning the camera on and off.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make a batch of the sauce ahead of time, then show them the process, up to the point where you're going to heat it, but they have to see the power of these blades, which by the way are not real sharp. I don't know if you guys touched them. It's definitely must be the centrifugal force or something of the blades that makes things happen in the heat. So.
This weekend I had a lot of basil on my plant, so I literally stuffed it down into our measuring cup, 4 cups of stuffed basil with a whole head of garlic. And then oil and pistachio.
Oh my.
It was amazing.
So good thing Patti is recording this because I don't know if you heard Nancy Jo made it sounded like pesto with pistachios.
Yeah.
Yummy. That sounds delicious. And you know what? It just gets chopped up in here, pulverized.
Well, no, I didn't heat it. We just used it.
Yeah. So you just blended it and then you could
just blended it and it came out.
4 awesome.
Cups of garlic.
No, 4 cups of basil.
Right.
A whole head of garlic. It was a little spicy, but now when I use it, I'll add some more olive oil.
Yeah, and
but we had it with spaghetti and for tenderloin.
Sounds delicious.
And a big salad. It was
so
unbelievable.
Did you put some cheese in there?
No, I added the cheese in afterwards in case somebody was
yummy.
So how many nuts?
So
it was a cup and a half.
They're getting the recipe for
a cup and a half of pistachios. We made one with pine nuts, ran out of pine nuts, and then we tried the pistachio, and I like the pistachio.
And most people like pistachios more than pine nuts.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things that I did in here, you guys, very early on is a roast cauliflower Thai curry soup. And I did roast the cauliflower the first time I did it on a sheet pan. It was delicious. Then you throw it in here with all the other ingredients. And the second time I thought, why am I taking that extra step? Because this cooks the vegetables. Yes, it won't have that roasted, flavor. So I just threw a couple of roasted red peppers in here. But I put the onion, garlic, all of that stuff in there first to zip it around. And the cauliflower went in there and the coconut milk. It was all raw. And it blended and cooked on the soup setting till it was done. Thai red curry paste in there, throw a couple of roasted red peppers in the end and some snipped basil on top. Phenomenal. So, you'll be tempted to use a bunch of other, like sheet pan and cookware and all of that, but try it for raw stuff, you guys. Raw's good.
So mention that you can't do raw typically.
In the other blenders, right. So
you
it's
have to cook
exactly. So in the other blenders on the market, you are going to have to partially cook that, steam it or do whatever before you put it in your blender because theirs does not cook to the temperature that ours does. And again, it heats, it pulses, it heats, it pulses. So it's fantastic. A couple other features in here are the tamper that it comes with, which is great. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the tamper actually goes in. You want to take off the little cap, and the tamper goes down that little hole there. It's just long enough to hit, it doesn't hit the blades at all. It's to go around the sides, and it's just to move stuff down. You don't want to use it very often. If you see the nuts from your almond butter crawling up the sides or peanuts, you want to push those down, but you don't want to sit there jamming it like you would like a butter churner. Okay, it's just to move them down because it has to create a vortex smoothness of the food that you're trying to develop there.
Okay. I like how the lid locks on.
And the lid locks on are so nice. And another safety feature is there are electrical components. There's a little switch in the top here. So once you put the top on, if the lid is off, it's going to say lid, and you cannot turn on the blender. So you're not going to have those scary explosions in your kitchen. You have to have the lid on. Does not do that. Nope.
There is no lock lid thing,
Right.
so.
A sensor. So there's a sensor in the handle here for that. So you can, that's a safety feature. I mean, think about that. Little kids, all of that. Adults. So that's cool to have that. The other thing too is the mesh straining bag that it comes with is amazing, you guys. Truly. Because I had an almond milk cow. It was called an almond cow. Almond milk maker, and it did not strain the almonds the way ours does. Ours takes 1 cup of nuts, 1 quart of almond milk, and it is creamy, it's bright white, and there is no sediment in it at all. Okay, it's so easy to make. I mean, the longest thing it takes is soaking the almonds for 4 hours. That's it. So do it in the morning and then make your almond milk at lunchtime. It's fantastic. And it frosts really nice for a latte. It stays forever.
Okay, so transitioning to the virtual world
Yeah.
and the blender. And also, this was the real reason why I'm so excited that you're here, because between Chris Madden and Eileen O'Haron, we're going to hear how you went from being a superstar cooking consultant to really rocking it out in the virtual world.
All right,
So you might
we're done with
need to
this.
repeat that a little bit.
So
stay with the blender first, and then what you did and how your business changed.
with the virtual world.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I was mentioning that I've been a cooking show consultant. Tomorrow will be my 21st anniversary.
Yay!
So my business is drinking age. And here I had a cocktail before my 25th Stanford Chef birthday. So we get to drink tomorrow. Anyway, so yeah, strictly cooking show for 20 plus years. And do you want me to tell you the whole reason how I got into this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there was anything else that you wanted
Yeah.
to bring
Is
up,
there
like
something we're missing on the blender?
Actually, the safety, we covered the safety features of price points. Okay, real quick, I'm going to cover that because this is huge, you guys. I don't know about you guys, but every year we'd go to State Fair and I'd look at that guy with that V blender and just wanted it so badly, but I did not want to pay $500 for it. I did not want a payment plan. So I, foregone that whole idea for all these years. We came out with ours. This has such a great price point, you guys. We have so many more features, so many more benefits as far as safety and all that other stuff goes. Custom settings, preset programs, all of it. Intuitive, it heats up. We have everything. Some blenders have some of those. Some blenders have other settings. Ours has all of it, okay, including 2 that are going to be patented, which is awesome, right? Mm-hmm. And our price point is I think it's actually, when they mentioned the price to us when they said $349, we're all like, yes. I mean, we were excited. It was only $349. Some of these blenders start at $500. Mm-hmm. There is a blender in Europe, and I don't know if I can mention the name, but it begins with a TH, Thermomix. My girlfriend asked me about this way back. She said, does Pampered Chef have something called a Thermomix? And this is before we even started this program. I said, what's that? She said, it's a heated blender. It cooks food, but it also weighs it. So there's a scale component to theirs. $1,000 to $1,500 for theirs. Okay. So I don't know about you guys. I don't need any payment plans. Our payment plan is what? Host a show. Okay. So they can get it free. They can get it for half price, or become a consultant and get it for 60% off. So many other things. So price point is right in line. It's middle of the road, but we have so feature. I think it's more than the other ones. Okay. So we talked safety features, why we got into the market, and price. Any other questions? Okay.
Do we
Is there
have
any in this
questions on,
chat?
yeah, in the chat?
Where do you see
Look
the
in
chat? Oh, there's 14 of them. Am I supposed to be paying attention to this?
I figured there
I
was a
want
lot
a
of
Moce.
questions.
Maybe they all just want mimosas.
They all want mimosas. How are you doing, peach jam? We're going to leave the skins on, and I'll get back to you on that. 2 peak horsepower, PEAK. Somebody wants to Google what that means. I don't think you're going to ride it like a scooter, but hey, give us some time. We'll get Andrew in on that. What would you make at an August show in the blender? Okay, here's what I did. You guys, I've already booked my calendar solid with both virtual and cooking shows through the middle of October. So what I did is I just showed just on my VIP page, the cocktails and the soup and things like that. I should show them this. They're eating almond butter. So I made almond butter, low sugar strawberry jam, and blueberry jam.
So bring it up to the camera.
So this is the blueberry jam. I made this last night. Isn't it cute?
How many does it make?
So this made 9 jars of these little size. I'm doing my 21st anniversary open house on Wednesday, and all my guests are getting a little jar of jam and a season's best. How cute.
Where'd you get your jars?
The jars, Walmart, $8.87 for 12. And then this is the low sugar strawberry jam. Very good. I like this.
yes,
It's really
it's
tart. It's not very sweet. Half a cup.
So do you use
Same
pectin in
recipes.
both of those?
I used, and there's low
Yes.
sugar pectin. Okay. And then this morning before I came down here, I made almond butter in this one.
And it makes that much?
It's really, okay, so you want to refrigerate it, but this is fresh right out of the blender, and I threw it in my bag and came down.
Was the
Both fresh.
Okay.
Oh,
The
almond
other one
peanut.
seems thicker.
This one is
Does it
almond
make
peanut
that
butter.
much or more?
Oh,
So when you're making
almond what?
almond and peanut butter. So I have 1 cup of peanuts, 2 cups of almonds, no added salt. Okay, so this one is almond peanut butter. And again, this is a great recipe to do at your shows. You do a brownie mix in your 2.5 quart everyday pan, rock. Mix it up, drizzle peanut butter, homemade peanut butter over the top, and put it in the microwave for 8 minutes. Now I would do the extra egg in there. You know, the brownie. You know, when it says cake-like brownies, add an extra egg. I would definitely do cake-like brownie.
So brownie mix?
Brownie mix with 1 extra egg. Drizzle the peanut butter over the top and pop it in the microwave for 8 minutes. So you're using the cooking blender, the Rock whipped cream maker, right?
Okay.
All
Well,
power
I
to
heard
it.
this makes your whipped cream super easy.
Oh, this? I haven't used it for that. People have been making guacamole in it too. So seriously, you guys.
Sugar.
And that's, okay, so that's how that happened was this week.
Regular sugar.
So you were asking at a show. I went and did a fajitas and guac show last week, so I used the quick cooker. And I went to go make the whipped cream. And the host, how many times does this happen? The host doesn't have any powdered sugar. So you're stuck using granulated sugar, and it sounds like sand, right? And I said, you don't have any powdered sugar? She's like, no. And it was raw sugar, which was even more coarse.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This guy was out, and I'm like, let's see if we can make superfine sugar. So poured a cup of sugar in here. 5 seconds, you guys. They even said, stop it. It's going to turn into cotton candy. And I thought, that's another thing we could try, cotton candy. So I turned it into superfine sugar. Powdered sugar has added cornstarch to keep it from clumping. But superfine sugar, you guys, I use it every year for spiced nuts during the holidays. That's made with an egg white, and you soak, or you just run pecans through it and let them drain. And then you make the spice with superfine sugar. But I would put it in my magic bullet, and it would always get clogged in there, so I'd have to take it off and shake it and put it back on. Zzz, 5 seconds, no joke.
On custom?
I did 9. I did 9. I mean, custom 9.
Custom.
Because it was really coarse sugar. So you can do powdered sugar. Yeah. Is that
Well,
crazy?
isn't that nice?
But
You
that
don't
doesn't
have
heat,
extra
right?
things at your house,
Right, exactly.
Heat and there's custom.
And then
Blend.
people said that they made their whipped cream in it too. Just
I haven't tried the whipped cream, but that's kind of cool, so I'll do that.
wow.
But yeah, so last week I did a show on Thursday, and we did Quickster margaritas because we were doing happy hour. And I said, let's take those Quickster margaritas and throw them in here and make them frozen margaritas. I was a little nervous because there's beer in those Quickster, right?
Right.
Worked beautifully. Yes.
Did it?
I just took a bunch of ice,
love
poured the,
beer.
yes. So you can do cocktails. So at the cooking shows, even if you're not doing a recipe with it, you can show the powdered sugar. You could show crushing ice. You could show the cycle. You could take, you know, pretzels and grind them up in there. I mean, all
We
of
did
that
that.
stuff.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a whole
What did you use them with?
That pretzel jello salad, you know, like
Oh,
the cream
okay.
cheese. So, like
Very
Tom
good.
would always manual food process those for me. That took forever. I dumped the whole bag in there, and it was
It pulverizes.
so fast.
Oh, so think about the strawberry margarita squares.
yeah,
That
yeah,
recipe has that
Yep.
pretzel crust. But graham cracker
Margarita pie.
stuff, all of that.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
Fisher
All right.
chicken coating.
Oh, yes.
made with
Oh.
pretzels.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
supposed to be
You could do
outstanding.
macadamia nuts in there.
Yeah.
You could do a
Yeah.
macadamia crust. You could do any kind of nuts in there. If you're doing nuts, you don't want to use the grind setting. You want to use the pulse setting, or you'll end up
Are
with
there any
butter.
more questions?
I don't know. I haven't seen, but I do want to mention this. You guys, this is the bag
beautiful.
to carry your blender in. Yay! It's got a nice firm bottom on it. Kind of like ours. With the PC logo on there, so nice and firm.
Nice.
I
Yeah.
hope- Are they going to come with the quick one again? I can't tell. Maybe. I don't know. The bottom.
I don't think so.
All right.
It's too square. It does, but I don't think
So
it'll
that's
fit
it for
in
the blender. I think we covered everything. We had the tamper and the straining bag and cleaning brush. Real quick though, and this did not happen to me last night when I made the jam. I didn't have any scorching. Okay, so scorching, you know, scorching will happen if you're using something that has high starch or high sugar content, like jam. I didn't have any problem last night. So, so that's good. But if you do see scorching, it's totally normal. It's like, you know, on top of your stove, you're not going to throw your pot out, right? You end up cleaning it. But what I ended up doing during the test program is I put ketchup in there to just the acid to get rid of the scorch. You know,
Ketchup takes removed it. and
yeah, any
heated
kind of
that, or
tomato. Yeah, it's just like any tomato-based stuff, like in your quick cooker. When you burn something in there, just take a little tomato sauce and let it sit in there, and that acid will clean off the.
Okay, you don't have to heat it or anything?
No, you don't have to heat it.
I mean,
Just let it sit.
the water bath, I mean, we don't teach anything about that?
I had my husband do the water bath because he likes to can stuff, so I don't understand that whole thing. But the recipes in the Deluxe Cleaning Blender cookbook are specific for refrigerated and freezer jams. Okay, if you want to can them, make sure you're following the steps to properly can so you don't poison yourself. It'll stay fresh in the refrigerator for up to a month and in the freezer for up to 6 months. And again, this is not big batches of jam, you guys. You'll be able to eat that within 2 weeks or whatever.
I have a couple questions.
But we have questions from Tina.
If you want to put a jalapeno in your jelly, do you put it in while it's cooking, or is that something you should add afterwards?
I think when you cook it, it probably loses some of the heat. Yeah. So that's up to you. What kind of heat do you want to make? You
I
want a
made
mild?
raspberry jalapeno,
Oh, I saw
and
that.
I used 2 packages of raspberries and 6 jalapenos that I
Oh,
seeded.
they had to be pretty spicy.
Well, I added no sugar, but just a third of a cup of apple cider vinegar, and it was really kind of sweet and tangy.
Oh,
it was not
yum.
spicy at all.
Go ahead.
But you cooked it all.
Yeah, I put everything in there together at
Wow.
one time.
Were you able to see chunks like green
I know what
in
these
there?
questions
No,
are.
it was totally emulsified. And the color, and I've got a picture of it, the color of it was actually a really pretty bright pink, almost like pinker than that candle.
It was pretty. Do you guys want a couple questions on here real quick? Because I feel bad that I'm ignoring these questions. What 2 things are unique? Jam and sauce setting are the 2 settings that are unique to ours. Okay. Let's see. Dips. Yep. Thank you. Happy 21st anniversary. Thank you. Is it glass? Ours is glass, not plastic. Not about the blender, but I love your enrichable shirt. Thank you. I was an ambassador for that too. I was like a one-man band. Yeah. Where do you have that made? They gave it to me. Laura mentioned cleaning the gasket. Yes.
Where's that?
It's on the pitcher lid. So real quick, just like your gasket on your, I don't want to take this off, but just like the gasket on your quick cooker, if any sediments, any food gets under here, you want to make sure that you pull this off, clean it well, and then put it back on. So it's got a nice tight seal, so there aren't any explosions.
Dishwasher for that?
You can dishwash your lid, but honestly, you know, between just running it under hot soapy water and then I just take, after the cleaning cycle, I just run the hot soapy water over this.
How often have you ever electronic components in there too?
It's just a switch. It's just a little thing that'll trick the switch inside here.
Okay.
Okay, so that way.
How often would you clean the gasket? Kind of like, I don't
Depends
do
on,
my
I mean, you
quick
can
cooker
pull it
very
off
often.
and just see if there's anything
I
in there,
do.
crumbs or
Clean that
whatever,
every
especially
time.
if
Every
nuts.
time.
Yeah, you could do that. All right, so that's how you would clean it. Almond butter always. That then it is when you first start. That's fresh. It just came off the blender at 6:30 this morning, and then I hopped in my car and came down here.
But if you refrigerate it.
Yeah, refrigerated. Oh my gosh, the peanut butter taste. Have you guys made peanut butter? It tastes like Reese's peanut butter.
Yeah.
There's no sugar in it. It's really super smooth and so
If you
good.
want it to be chunky, because I usually buy my almond butter chunky.
Yeah.
Would you put
Stop it.
dense or
Pulse.
pulse them in?
I would stop. I would stop the grind setting at that point. When it gets to the consistency that you want, you'll see it's still chunky, but it runs for like 2 minutes, I think. Just stop it at 1 minute. So you have more chunks.
Or could you do the creamy part and then add some more nuts in and just pulse it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yep.
did that with my strawberry jam the other day.
Yeah, so
I
you
threw
have
in some
more
extra
preserves
strawberries to make it.
more preservy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
wondering about that too.
Oh,
The bag for the blender, you guys, you earn that free as a consultant in September with $750 in sales. Oh, somebody already answered that, so there you go. I think that's everything, everybody.
One thing
Okay,
that-
so transitioning to a virtual
Oh,
business.
one thing, we might want to remind everybody that we can get 60% off the deep covered deluxe
Cooking
DXTV in August.
Right.
But it's not going to be like how they did the quick cooker where you could do it 60% off for months. It's only for August to the end of August. So if you didn't earn it,
Yes, you can get it for, okay, so Naomi is saying, remember the special for consultants only in August is 60% off the cooking blender for $139.60, I believe it is. And also book lots of September shows because it's 60% off in September with a qualified show. In October, it's 60% off with a $550 show. Watch the fine print there. So as your, would you like September or October? Which works best for you? I'll see that cooking blenders, you need a $550 show, which would be fine, but just really promote September because they only need a qualified show. We don't want to work to minimum, so, right?
No.
Okay. All right, so transitioning to virtual. So
And I hope that maybe you have your phone or something that you can show us maybe some of what you were telling me about going out to the car and making some videos that you
oh, yes. Okay, so what happened was this was not part of my business at all for all 20 plus years. Frankly, I wanted the virtual world to crash and burn and go away and never come back. And I really thought that was going to happen. And it's because I wanted our guests and hosts to have the social interaction, the night out to be with each other. That's big for me. And I think it's big for everybody, especially in this day and age where we rely on technology so much that we're all going to, yeah. So I was just talking myself out of never doing these until I heard Tracy say in January at that time that virtual parties accounted for 42% of our business. And I literally and figuratively jumped up and got to work and learning how to do virtuals. Okay, so I had to. First of all, let's think about it this way. How many people are joining your team that, want to do virtual parties and I had no way to support them. I mean, I was doing it so I could support them more than anything. And accidentally, I ended up building a pretty good virtual business out of it. So what I couldn't wrap my head around, so I did the training. I watched Steve and Joseph's training, Steve Drapowski. Awesome. I watched it once without taking notes or anything. I watched and listened to him, and then I watched him again with a notebook because there are things that I needed to know that I would do. Do you know what I'm saying? He has a track record of success. He's very successful. Look at what he's done. So I did exactly what he said to do for that first month, and then I modified it for the way I would do it. Okay, just because we all have different personalities, and that's the authenticity part, right? So the way I had to wrap my head around it, I was telling Marie is, I committed to doing these. I set up, 6 shows immediately. I green dotted people, which I never green dotted before, and I didn't want to do it. I was like Cameron on Ferris Bueller. I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I green dotted 16 people that first day, and I got a response from 7 in 3 booked shows. And I started them like that week. Okay. So I did 3 for hosts and 1 on my VIP page. I haven't green dotted since. So that just started my business. So I've done 50 shows since February, virtual parties. And I've had 2 not qualify. So that's okay. Yeah. So, yeah.
Details.
Okay, so details. All right, so here's what happened. I had to talk myself into doing this, not only to support my team, but also, yeah. So I started this not only to support our team of consultants and bring more people on board who I thought would be interested in doing something like this. I also had to wrap my head around how I'm going to do it and be authentic, you know, because they'd be able to tell. If I wasn't into it, they're going to be able to tell you're not into it. So I was loading my car one day and with my crate of tools going into the back of my car, and I'm looking at my crate, and you guys, honestly, I use the same tools at every single show. The recipe might change once or twice a year, but I use the same tools at every single show, and they're practical tools, okay? So as I'm putting it in, I'm looking at my tools, and I'm going, I'm just gonna show the tools I show at my shows for my virtual parties, because I think people need to see the moving parts of the tools. I don't think pictures do our tools justice. A catalog doesn't sell the tools, we sell the tools, right? So I thought people need to see the moving parts. So I brought my crate back in the house. I had to leave for my show in about an hour, and I lined up the tools in order that I do at my shows. And I put the produce out that I was going to be showing. I didn't do a demo. What I did is I did 11 videos that were 2 to 4 minutes long on each tool that I use at my shows. So close and cut. Here's how the close and cut works, and this is what you can use it for, blah, blah, blah. Here's the chicken breast. Stop the camera. Go on to the next one. So they're 2 to 4 minute videos, and I thought, this is how I'm going to do it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, no love lost, right? So I did that, and I put them up on YouTube, and I wrote my own template, and I just sprinkled those YouTubes throughout the week that I had the show open. It wasn't like 11 videos all day long, continuous loop. It was sprinkled throughout the week. And then I also was figuring, I don't know, I was thinking in my own head, my show start on Friday. So what happens on Friday at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon? It's happy hour, right? So Friday I'm featuring happy hour recipes. And I show them how to make a Moscow Mule and the thing. And I show them how, and this is all on my YouTube stuff. Okay, Saturday morning, I'm thinking they're all sleeping in. Sunday morning, all sleeping in, and I cover breakfast in the morning and then whipped cream in the afternoon. Anyway, so I went and just did it that way. And honestly, you guys, I've been using the same template ever since March or April. The only thing I changed, and if you guys are using a posting service, I put asterisks around the posts that need to be changed. That way I don't have to look at 85 posts trying to figure out which, the ones that have asterisks are going to be the host bonus, the guest special, the new consultant bonus, and maybe I'm bored with the game, so I'll change those. And that's it. And
do you do a lot of games?
I do. It's weird because I'm not a game player myself, and I have to take myself out of that. I have to remember it's not all about me, you know. So I did put games in there. I never even played Chutes and Ladders with my kids when they were little. I don't have a game. I don't. So to see everybody putting these games on there, I'm like, I would hate that. I would hate that. And I thought, it's not about me. It's about, and they play the games. I'm blown away.
Yeah. And so do you do Google form, or do you pick the most engaged? What do you do?
I actually do. You know, Catholic girls, so I would feel terrible if I just rigged it and said the most engaged person. So I sit there, okay, here's a big tip that I discovered on my own. This is so cool. Maybe you guys know this. So when you're doing your post and you're coming to the end of the party and you want to do your game drawing, your drawing slip or whatever, open up the photos on the group. So you have the whole gallery of photos that you've been posting for the week. You start on the first one. Click on it, you'll see the comments right next to it. Advance to the next photo. The little carrot. That way you're not going through the whole show looking for who's commenting. You click on the picture, you know what I'm saying? So open up the photos. If you guys want to try this now, out there in
share your screen.
Virtual, it's your, yeah. So you open up the photo, click photos on the group. It opens up all the photos that you posted for the week. Click on the very first one, which is going to be the last photo of the party, and you'll see, are there any comments? Yes or no? Advance to the next picture. So you're just
marking them on a Google form.
Not even doing that. Oh no, then I go into Wheel Decide and I put their names on there. So I have a split, WHEEL decide.com.
So you have that app on your phone or computer?
No, you just go to wheeldecide.com and it's a little spinning wheel. And so I have a split screen where I'm looking at the pictures and who commented. The other split is Wheel Decide and I'm entering their names. It takes less than 5 minutes.
Do you enter their name more than once?
Oh yeah, if they're playing the games and if I say you have an extra chance to win a pampered prize, I only give one prize. It's at the end of the week.
Okay, so you put all the tickets for all the games, all the names on the wheel, and you spin it one time.
Right. I spin it one time. I'm on direct ship, so I call it a pampered prize, and I've got tiered levels of, like I just had one close at $1,260. So they're not getting a set of Twix Eclipse. They get a lot. Yeah. They get about $30 worth of stuff. That's fine.
So you're just mailing it.
And I just mail it out in our cool new envelopes, you guys. If you haven't gotten those, they're like plasticky, so you can throw spices in there. You can throw sharp things in there. They're amazing.
So you have to have the app in order to see the comments. I'm confused.
The comments are on Facebook. Open up Facebook and then
maybe I don't think on iPad it works.
Anyway, so
okay.
that's how I do that. That was a little thing that I discovered, because otherwise, prior to that, I was going through each show, each post that I had, and now I just use the pictures, advance to the next picture. It's that little carrot,
and it shows you all the shows comments.
It shows you all the comments.
So
if you got
6 shows, you gotta.
Well, you have to go into each show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing too is if you have multiple pictures on one post, of course they're probably only going to comment on one of those pictures, so the other 5 pictures probably won't have a comment, which is fine. You just zip through it. It's so much easier than scrolling through the whole darn thing.
So Eileen, are you doing the same video on every single virtual party?
You mean my YouTube videos?
Yeah.
Yes, those have not changed because they haven't changed in my cooking show for 20 years. So, yeah,
Okay.
use the same
You
thing.
don't really follow like a format of like a theme show. You're just okay.
So tell us what your theme show is. So it starts on a Friday,
Starts-
happy hour.
Yeah, it starts on a Friday. It's like, okay, and I don't do this pre-party stuff. I don't understand that. To me, I'm like, show starts Friday, you guys. Thursday night, I go on, I do a welcome video.
When do hosts invite
And
people?
is that
I
live?
start inviting on.
Is your welcome
It's
video-
not. The only thing I do live is, hey, if I happen to be, like last week I was on my friend's boat on Lake Michigan, and I did a live there. Hey, look at my office today, whatever. So I'll do something like that. But the only live I do is the wheel decide the prize drawing, So
Is it all YouTube? You're
It's all
actually
YouTube.
using the link for YouTube, so you're doing it on a SynShare.
I use Visly.
Okay, oh, that's right, that's right.
And
that's
so on on that posting service, I don't know how it is on the other ones, but as you're putting videos into your template, it's called a web link, not video. You might have the option to do a video or a web link. You use a web link. Yeah. But if you say video, it comes up with a big www. It doesn't come up with your face. You know what I'm saying?
So you want,
With your
I want them to
thumbnail.
see.
Well, is it because you click on, like, they have a Facebook picture, they have a link picture, like, there's like different things that you can do. Like, if it's a Facebook,
It'll say
Facebook
image.
post, you click Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Is this?
Like, you can actually use the regular post from Facebook. You can use a link, which is obviously a YouTube link.
Yeah.
Okay, is that
I
what
use
it
a
is?
regular YouTube link.
Okay.
I
Okay.
figure I'm just
All
going
right,
that route.
so
Yeah,
back
throw
up.
it on there.
So Thursday night.
Thursday night, I say, hey, welcome. Here's how it works. Blah blah blah. Thanks for joining us. And then Friday, and then of course
Happy hour.
and so Friday, it's like, hey, let's start with the game. It's the strawberry, whatever's. So strawberries are in season, so I try to do seasonal stuff. And then happy hour is like 2:00. The post goes out that shows them how all those boozy tools that we have work. Friday night, it's pamper your camper, because people are probably going camping for the weekend. I mean, this is how I think, you guys. It sounds weird.
It's a happy hour thing too.
Yeah. And then Saturday morning, breakfast, and then afternoon, whatever. Sunday, same thing. Sunday night, they're getting ready to sit down and do a Netflix
How many
binge.
posts?
I went from 115 or whatever down to 85, and I'm going to cut that down to 5 days now instead of 7, and probably 40 posts.
So
50 posts.
4
I have to do
times a
that.
day?
3 times a day, 3 posts.
That's
at
what
that
I
time.
do for 5 days.
Yeah. And you know what?
Times a day, 3 posts
Right.
each time.
Now, let me explain that, you guys, real quick, and tell me if I'm going too long.
No.
Okay. So again, coming from my position in my business, when I would see people posting constantly, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so turned off by that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Here's the thing. For any of you guys who are cooking show hosts, is everybody paying attention 100% of the time? No. Sometimes you do the shows for the same people 5-6 times, and they still say, I didn't know that's how you got the smell of garlic off your hands. It's like, we've been friends for 20 years. You never heard. Well, I probably wasn't paying attention. So the reason for the multiple posts in my head is catch them on the fly, whatever. If they happen to just be sitting down now and get a notification, they might check it, and that's where you want to get them. They might not check back in for the rest of the show, but at least I got.
So are you like, Stephen, do you just feature the smaller items on your shows, or do you go for the blender, the quick cooker, the stoves?
That is a great point, and I loved his point with that, because those are booking tools, you guys. I mean, those clearly are. I've only had one person, maybe two people, buy a quick cooker at full price on a virtual party. But I like to think of the average consumer. Unless they're in the market for that, I'm not gonna appeal to them. But I will appeal to them with not having to touch slimy chicken by putting in the quick slice or the close and cut with a nice sharp knife. I'll appeal to them with the whipped cream maker. How many of you guys like fresh whipped cream but don't like to make it? How many of you are on keto? It can be in a refrigerator all the time, ready for you to take a scoop. You know, whatever. See, I try to think, what will appeal to the average consumer? And if they are, now here's two other big things that I discovered again. I'm like, it's fun working in my office. I'm all by myself and I'm just thinking, hey, this is a great idea. So one of the
good company.
So one of the posts that I put out on Friday is what needs to be replaced in your kitchen. And sometimes I get funny things like my husband or, you know, whatever. But there's Pampered Chef tools around, A, B, C, D, whatever. So what needs to be replaced? That's at the start of the party, like on Friday, like around 11 o'clock or whatever during that posting time. And guess what? I'm making note of who's saying they need knives, they need cookware, they need scrapers, they need can openers. Those people are the ones that I will go in private message and say, you want your can opener free? I'll do that after they get to know me. I'm not going to do that that day. Okay. Wish list Wednesday, same thing. When they post, hey, you guys have seen a lot of tools so far these couple of days.
So now you're going down to 5 days though instead of 7.
I think I'm gonna
end on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's gonna be Friday to Tuesday. Yeah, so I would have to do wish list Wednesday somewhere, maybe Wednesday. I don't know. I guess I'll have to get rid of that and call it something else. But wish list Wednesday, I put it out there. Hey, you guys have seen lots of cool tools. What's on your wish list? And you see, I want knives. So now I've got that group of people I can go to get bookings. So.
Well, you know, even though you're ending on Tuesday, I always go on the next morning.
That's right.
To just think, you know, and do the closing stuff. So you could.
That's exactly.
Actually, the wish list Wednesday would fit in
perfectly. Because you know what? Right now I'm doing Friday to Friday and closing on Sunday. So now I'm going to do Friday to Tuesday and close on Friday. So that is my plan to keep the, because people are still going to linger, right?
Mm-hmm. I always though. I just let them reach out to me or the host. If they
so I am going to still leave it open till Friday.
Curve that it's sounding to me like is the engagement with private messaging your guests. So getting bookings and recruits from virtual shows. How are you doing that? And what have you learned over the last couple of months?
That's a good question.
Preventing me from making any mistakes.
Okay.
Not any mistakes, but
you'll learn from them. All right, here's the thing. The whole engagement thing that I was so worried about losing that connection and the social interaction at shows. Honestly, you guys, I can connect with more people on a virtual party than at a cooking show, because at a cooking show, maybe you have 12 to 15 people there. How many do you actually sit and have a conversation with? 2 or 3, because you're busy writing up orders or talking about the app or whatever. So there is actual conversations going on either on the comments or through private message. So I've actually gotten to know people, been able to connect with more people, I should say, than a live cooking show. Bookings, again, you know, at first the fish were jumping in the boat. I mean, I was getting people that were ordering online, and then I'd get a contact me submission form that says I want to party. That was happening a lot in the beginning, but now I'm reaching out and saying, hey, do you want those scraper, the little 3 brown scrapers for free? Yeah, how do I do that? And I had somebody have an $850 show. Scrapers for $4 scrapers.
That was the only thing on their wish list.
That's all they wanted. She's like, I need to replace my scrapers. I did a show last week, the happy hour one. She just wanted a can opener, and I said, well, do you want it free? And she's like, sure. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. You want to do it? I'm like, I just assume it. She's not saying, oh, are you going to give it to me free? I'm saying, do you want to get it free? Sure. All right, do you want to do an online party, or do you want to do a cooking show? She doesn't know what hit her. And then I do that. Recruiting, huge. I don't know. I mean, I just put out that, first of all, your hosts. I've recruited 16 or 17 people since March.
Wow.
Awesome. And 13 have qualified. So
Are they your hosts? Are they your guests?
mostly my hosts, although I did have a couple of guests. I think I have 2 or 3 guests in that
And are
batch.
they virtual as well?
They're out of the 16, 13 are virtual and the other 3 are hybrid. But I will encourage them all to do both. So yeah,
So are you using Pampered Chef's recruiting posts? Are you going
I
live? What
do
is your
that. Well,
recruiting
you know,
person?
it's like a regular cooking show, you guys. Whatever you're doing at your cooking show, you can do with your virtual party. So if I see a talent in my host or a guest, I mean, obviously you're going to say, hey, are you getting paid to use your tools right now in your kitchen? Most people are like, I have this and I have that and I have this and all of that. When the host puts out the let's hear it, what's your favorite? I have my favorite tools. What are your favorite tools? That's a host post that I ever do. When they're posting, I love my mix and chop. I love my can opener. I love my scrapers. Some people have a whole litany of stuff they have.
Are you getting paid to use your
I say,
tools
hey,
in
is
your
anybody
kitchen
paying to
right
use
now?
your tools?
Is that a private message or is it right on?
I say it on there.
Okay.
But you can also do it through private message. Because honestly, guys, that's what got me to do Pampered Chef. I don't like home parties. Failed every speech class. Did not want to be doing this. But Dan wasn't paying me to use the tools. My kids weren't paying me to use the tools. Doris paid me to use the tools.
There you go.
So
I'll tell you a funny story. I went back to my high school speech teacher at my nephew's graduation. She was there. I went up to her and I said, you're not going to believe what I'm doing for a living.
Oh my gosh.
She loved it.
Yeah, I did that the other day because somebody sent me pictures of being on stage and I'm like, so I tagged my high school speech teacher. I'm like, Arlene Jarzab, I just did the scariest thing. How did I fail her? She said, I remember failing you. I'm like, it was a personal fail. You told me to sit down. I didn't say this to everybody, but I had to go sit down because I was laughing so hard. The podium was shaking. She said, Eileen, just go sit down. That was sophomore. I don't even know what grade I got, but to me, that was a personal fail. That's worse than a red pen fail, you know? Anyway, so yeah, over that hump. But the recruiting, honestly, you guys, I think it's easier because first of all, you're going to build your team around the country. Yeah, it doesn't matter where
people that would never stand up in front of people.
Yes. Oh,
or,
for sure.
Or think I don't have time. I don't have a whole evening or an afternoon to do this.
Something
we'll
like this. And I'll teach them how to do
And
it.
are you using a business page like to do it through Visly? I don't know how
You
Visly
can.
works,
I mean,
but
I've done both.
have you
Where I
gone
link
into
it.
jail? Okay. Well, I know I haven't. I know.
Okay. Enough said.
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell you what that question was, ladies and gentlemen.
And he goes to church every single day. That's why she does not go to jail.
Yes, I'm out of jail. I got to take care of my physical fitness and my spiritual
But you
fitness. daily.
use the business page.
I do use a business page.
Okay.
And it is very easy to do a video on a business page and quickly share it with all of your groups. Yeah.
A lot. Is that what you do?
So you can go on your business page and do that and link and share it. Or if you created your groups already, you can just link it to your business page.
But are you doing it live? Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes I'll do
Oh, okay.
live stuff
or
on there.
you're just posting whatever YouTube
And then,
video
yep,
you have. and
yeah,
then
I'm
just
trying to think of
sharing
the last live thing. I'll probably start
How do
doing
you
more lives.
quickly link it to all your groups?
If you have a business page, you go into pages right on your
The Pages
settings.
app.
Yeah, there's and your settings.
But not if you have just a personal.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you, I mean, yeah, I don't think you could do that, but
No,
a business
you can't.
page.
Yeah, it has to be a business.
I would definitely recommend opening a business page, and I'll tell you, Dash Training, hooray!
Right.
They have them doing that right away.
Yeah.
Create a business page, create your Facebook profile, all of that. So anyway, did that give you enough?
Yeah.
Yes, let's give him a big.
It's a lot of information.
Any questions in chat?
Oh boy, you're right. I'm supposed to be doing it. We're still on the peach. How to make peach jam.
You know what? My mom put in her recipe card file that said peach jam. Follow directions on Sure Gel box.
Oh, that's good.
I'm
Yes.
serious. That is what it says.
Yes.
That's
Like
awesome.
you said, you had made it into the book, right?
It made it into
And
the
nobody
book.
noticed it.
Nobody knows it. Nobody knows it.
All right, how to get bookings from your virtuals. Again, you just watch what's going on. You don't have to
You
be,
address that.
yeah, you don't have to,
So
virtuals.
you're not really doing all the trivia games and that. You're using what's on your wish list and personal messaging.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
pretty
heard
much.
from you.
Yep. And you know what? And it's up to me to go back to all those people and follow up, just like you would on. So if you're seeing those kinds of comments, follow up with that person privately.
Do you do thank yous on your show or do you private message?
I do thank yous on my show.
Okay.
And then at the end, I say, thank you for joining us this week. You guys have been a lot of fun. I would love it if you would bookmark my website for one-click contact. Please also join my community of Pampered Chef pals acting. And I put my link in there and they go right into my VIP group if they choose.
How involved are your hosts on the
last week was the first time I had a ghost host, and I think she just didn't understand it, but she still had a $450 show. Go figure. I don't know. She was driving me crazy. You know, it was almost like, man, did I do something wrong to make her? She wasn't even commenting or doing any of the host posts. So again, it comes to, so I have to pick up the pace there, and I will visit with her friends that are commenting. I'm not going to tag people. If they comment, then I'll say something. But you have to remember too, you guys, you don't need to be like you're on watching the Cuban Missile Crisis on these shows. You just pop in and out like your guests do, right?
Yeah. Well, you've got to be able to do it so that full-time workers can do it too.
Exactly. So you don't want to, and this is a question I have for you guys, if anybody is doing virtuals, do you admit that you're using a posting service at any time? In the beginning or when?
What do you mean
with your yeah, like for my welcome, I'm like, hey guys, this is how it works, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking about changing that. I do say come and go as you please because I'm not online all the time either. But I don't want them thinking that I'm sitting there writing 85 posts. Oh, no. So at the end I do. Right. So does Vizly. They don't know what that is.
Right. They don't know what
so at the end when I do the prize drawing.
Commenting there? Yes.
Maybe you should do a post with your welcome when you're saying this is how it works.
Yeah.
I just want you to know I use a posting service and everything is scheduled. So if it takes me a little bit to get back to your comment, I check in 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And so it makes it really easy, especially for my full-time work, to do this as well.
Yeah, like office hours.
Right.
Well,
at the end, when I do the drawing at the end, I do mention it there because I want them to know, hey, I've got a life beyond Pampered Chef, you guys. I've not been online 24/7. It may look like that, but I actually wrote the.
Do you ever use Facebook Scheduler to just upload pictures from your phone or videos?
Just little things. If it's something that I don't have in the template, I'll quick throw it on there and schedule it for that afternoon or whatever. But,
because I really, this was just a brain, one of those brain synapses went off, and I had this bright idea because I've been trying to organize my photos into albums on my phone. So I have a birthday album.
Oh yeah.
And it's real easy when it's somebody's birthday to choose, a couple pictures and say, HB text replacement, happy birthday, have a great day. Or HA, happy anniversary, wishing you many more with little hearts.
Love that.
Stuff. So having things organized by a cooking day or a baking day or a tool day, and then being able to kind of just do it through Facebook Scheduler. The reason I'm saying that is Ellington Boys still does not use a posting service. She uses Facebook Scheduler.
Yeah.
She sits down, has her outline, and is doing everything through that and has never been in Facebook jail. Because she's using Facebook Scheduler.
Can you just copy it though for the next show, like Eileen?
Well, if you have it in notes in your
the other thing too, a couple of times when I've used Facebook Scheduler, and this is just for random stuff, it locks up. I don't it'll sit there and it'll look like it's going to post, but the post button, it's great, and it's great. It's grayed out. I'm like, what the heck? So yeah, I stick to what is working for you and go from there, because I think that is just going to be, again, part of your authenticity. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. Just when you're
the other thing I was going to ask you is, so do you ever ask people to private message you, answer, I know you don't do a lot of games, but do you ever say, hey, message me with the answer or message me with this?
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
I let them guess and let them guess is most of them only do one guess anyway, but in the beginning I say that this is how it works. And if you need me, please tag me, because that'll bring me in to answer your question or whatever. Because a lot of times they won't tag you. That's in the beginning. That's in that video that I did in last October, when I wasn't even doing virtual parties, but I'm still using it. But yeah, it has been quite the journey, and not anything I expected at all. And to just give you guys an idea, last month was the first month in 21 years I had 0 cooking shows on my calendar. 0. I tried. I ended up with and I ended up still with $5,700 in sales. It was virtual stuff. But I mean, again, nothing to compare it to, but I've done 52 cooking shows this year and 50 virtual parties this year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's worked, and you know what? I'll just hang in there with it and ride the ride. Yeah, it's been a blast. Thank you.
Diversify.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks for and I apologize. I look like Anderson Cooper today. My hair just got a little scissor happy. With her scissors
Okay,
last week.
well, we are going to go ahead and we are going to stop. Right? We want to stop the Zoom. Are we all done?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, we're going to stop the Zoom, but be on the lookout for the replay. So, okay, thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Doug.
Bye, guys. Would you be shocked if I turned my head?
We're recording that. I'm just saying.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
wait, let me find. I can't even see the button to stop it.
I
Where
got
are
you so
you, button?
nervous, didn't I?
I know.
And me? Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Put your buttons on, Patty.
Do you want my